Hello and welcome to video number 4, reviews, and we're going to talk about how reviews can make it or break your sales. Reviews are very, very important, and if you think about how you think as well, and how your friends think, how your family thinks, they base their thoughts on a specific product on reviews. So if you had a family member who had a bad experience with the product, most likely you're not going to buy it. If you had a family member or friend who had a really, really good experience with a book or a product in general, then of course you might most likely will take the chance to buy it. So most people will basically skip a book on Amazon or a product with little or no reviews. So you want to kind of get at least about 5 reviews or more before you begin to really promote your book. Because if you promote your book and you have maybe 1 reviews or no reviews, and if that's the case, most people will not really take action because there's no social proof or herd mentality. Herd mentality basically means if you see a lot of people doing something, you will begin to see more and more people attracted to, oh, hey, what are they doing? 100 people are lining in a line waiting on something. You're thinking, oh, what is happening over there? Let me go check it out. So same kind of mentality there. And reviews are critical, especially if you're not a known author. If you don't have your name and it's not branded out there yet, and you don't have a huge following, then frankly, reviews are going to be very, very important. But in terms of Amazon, you got to do it the ethical way. And when I say the ethical way, I mean you have to get real, genuine reviews, not fake ones that you have bought, but real ones. Because once Amazon finds out that it's fake, they're most likely going to delete your account. So you don't want to do that. You want to definitely avoid that. Because once they do that, there really is no way of appealing it. And then you're going to have to look for a different venue and different ways to sell your book. And you've spent all this time formatting it for Kindle or formatting it for CreateSpace, and you have to start all over again. So the first thing I want to do is talk about ways not to get reviews, and then I'm going to move on to ways to get reviews, and I'm going to actually go to Amazon later on and show you a little more strategies in that area. So these are definitely ways you do not want to get reviews. For example, paid reviews. Don't pay anyone, because if Amazon finds out, they are most likely going to delete your account. Now, how can they find out? Well, you'll see places like on Fiverr.com where people will promise a 5-star review if you pay them. Now, keep in mind, if Amazon happens to find that particular user's account has been giving reviews and reviews and reviews and lots of fake reviews, they may look at all the other accounts that it is associated with. So that's one way that they can find out. They have many other different ways, but I wanted you to be aware of that so that you understand that you don't want to risk it, because they do have ways of figuring this out. Another way not to get reviews is 5-star reviews in exchange for a copy of your book. It's not okay to go to people and say, hey, I will give you a book copy only if you give a 5-star review. Always state to them that you want honest reviews. But perhaps if you really want to do it in such a way that you could possibly improve your reviews, you could give them a review copy and say, hey, if you don't like anything in the book, just let me know. I'll go out and try to resolve it as best I can. And if you communicate with that person and that person comes back will say, hey, I don't like the fact that it hasn't been proofread, You can go out, fix the problem, come back and ask them to try to re-review it again. And at that time, most likely they're going to think, wow, this book author took my feedback and actually went back to the drawing board and fixed it. Now, you're not going to be able to do that with every single person out there because some people in general are just picky. But like I said, no paid reviews, no 5-star reviews in exchange for a copy of your book. Basically, giving an incentive to give you a 5-star review. Exchanging reviews, this is not really a good practice either. Especially if someone's like, hey, I'll give you a 5-star review if you give me a 5-star review. And if they didn't actually read your book, then that in itself is quite unethical. So you definitely want to avoid that as well. Friends and family, this is a kind of a gray area, but this could backfire in a big way if Amazon ever finds out. The best way to get reviews are from people who actually buy your book. If they buy your book, it actually says in Amazon verified purchase, which means the person actually purchased the Kindle book or the CreateSpace book from your book sales page. That way, when some people look at the reviews, they actually see, oh, okay, this person actually bought the book off of Amazon. They are legit. So this is a gray area, but you definitely want to protect yourself as much as possible. And because you spend a lot of time formatting for Kindle or for CreateSpace. Here are the ways to get reviews. Your book real estate. And here's what I mean by that. At the very end of your book, inside of your book, what you might want to do is include a note saying, hey, if you like this book, please review the book and let me know what you think and get back to me. So you create some sort of interaction and a way for them to communicate with you. Bloggers are another great way to get reviews. And this kind of ties into the book blogging way of getting traffic, which I'll talk about later down the road. But many book bloggers who will read your book can leave a review with Amazon and, of course, other books sites that are selling your books and so forth. Because if you think about it, they are already leaving reviews about your books. So you could ask them, hey, okay, you're already leaving a review on your blog. Why don't you leave it on Amazon as well? Review copies. This kind of ties into what we talked about earlier, but you're just giving people review copies. Whether they want to leave reviews or not, that is up to them. They're not required to leave a review, but if they do, then that's awesome. And they can leave a completely honest review. And you can always say, hey, here's a review copy. It's not required, but I'd love it if you'd leave a review. And a lot of times the law of reciprocation works into this, because when you give something to somebody and they see value in it, they are most likely going to want to give value as well in the form of a good review. So you can use the law of reciprocation in this manner. There are other sites like kboards.com, goodreads.com, which I'll talk about more later down the road, and various Facebook pages that relate to your book's genre, where you can find people who would gladly take a review copy. Obviously, people who are interested in your book genre or topic are the main audience. You don't want to just give a review copy to someone who's not really interested in your book. Otherwise, they most likely will not like it, and they are more likely to give you a bad review. If you find somebody who likes the topic itself, they love it, they're fans of the topic, they're most likely going to give you a better review. So that's just something to keep in mind, to be congruent in who you give your review copies to. Giveaways is another great way to get reviews, which I will elaborate more later on. And this is a great way to get people to read and potentially review your book. Now, in terms of combating reviews, this is what I mean. If you get a 1-star or 2-star bad review, how do you deal with it? Or what about a 3-star review? 3-star reviews actually are not as bad as 1 to 2-star reviews, because people will actually look at the 1-star, the 2-star, the 3-star, and the 4-star reviews more than they will the 5-star reviews, especially people that are naturally skeptical. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, let me go ahead and show you how to combat bad reviews. So let's go ahead and hop on over to Amazon.com. So if we take a quick look at a book example here called A Room on the Broom by Julia Donaldson, this specific book, you can see that when you click on the book and click on reviews, you see the most helpful favorable review on the left-hand side and the most helpful critical review on the right-hand side. Now, the way that Amazon determines what is most helpful is at the very bottom of each and every one of these reviews, you'll notice a question that says, was this review helpful to you? If you click yes, then it will be the most helpful favorable review. If it's a 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star, then it will show up over here. Now, 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars together are actually good ratings. Now, people think, oh, I got a 3-star. It's fine if you get a 3-star if the person mentions, something negative, but also something positive in the book, because you're always going to find something negative about a product. And that's something that people just realize. But I wouldn't necessarily worry if you have a few 3 stars, a few 2, or a few 1. If the majority of your reviews are 5 to 4-star ratings, then that's what matters. If the majority of your reviews happen to be 1, 2, and 3, you may want to look carefully as to what people are complaining about. Now, one thing I found to combat negative reviews is, for example, this one here. If you click on read the full review, if you are the book owner of the specific book, you can read this review and make a comment below. You can actually comment down if it's something like, this book has a lot of grammatical and spelling errors. What you can say is hey, I hired a professional. I thought they did a great job, but I decided to put it through. I've uploaded the new version, blah, blah, blah. And that would actually be good, because in that case, you have actually resolved the negative review. Now, you can't do that for every single review, like I said that earlier, but people actually look at the comments. And if they see that you are the book author and you have interacted with people and taken into consideration people's actual feedback, they are more likely to buy your book, even if it is a negative review. So that's a great way to combat negative reviews.